What's going on, guys? It's Alex from Bellmaster Kingdom, and we're at the Horseshoe Tavern today to see Raven.
Yes.
So I'm here with John and Mark Gallagher, the brothers.
Yeah.
Guys, just want to say thanks so much for joining me a little bit today. And for those watching, my band Xephyr has the honor of sharing the stage with these guys tonight.
Sweet.
So I had to grab them for a little bit of a chat before the show, which is not far from now.
I know, we're
So-
getting ready to go on soon, I guess. So,
Yeah. So, but how's it? This is your first tour in like a couple of years, because last year was
last
a little
year
bit
we
of a-
pretty much took off. You know, we had started out. We had a festival, and then we had planned to take a few months off because I had surgery, and that was the initial thing. And then John got sick.
Yeah.
And he ended up with several surgeries and like a long recuperation. So, in a way, it was kind of, you know, it was weird. We had to cancel some shows, which is not our way. I think we've only ever missed one gig in our whole career, and that was because we had a vehicle breakdown.
We had to cancel an entire tour of Europe, which wasn't fun.
So we're getting ready. We're actually going back after this tour in the States and Canada. We're going back to finish up them dates and redo them dates. So it's cool. But I hope that everybody forgives us. But you know, sometimes when it's life and death, you just gotta you gotta go for the life.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody has forgiven you for
Yeah,
because health
and
is always number one.
What happened was, I'll just tell people quickly. We were in the storage that we have for the band, and we were moving some equipment and stuff. And a box fell and hit John in the head. It was actually a snare drum box.
Wow.
And we were laughing about it. We thought, you know, we didn't think it was anything serious.
The snare drum is okay.
Yeah. And then, you know, a couple of weeks
Me
later,
not so much.
John had a bunch of headaches, and he had the foresight to actually go to the hospital to get checked out.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a brain bleed, which is the same thing Ace Frehley just passed away from. Several people have passed away from that, because most people it presents as a headache. You don't feel right, you think, I'm going to go and lie down, and then you die because you don't get any help, you know. And he was able to get in there and to put him on a thinner and then prep him for surgery pretty much straight away, right, John?
I was diagnosed at 9 o'clock at night, and they operated about 6 o'clock the next morning.
Wow.
It's amazing because his head is completely empty. There's nothing in there at all. It's just
They
like
went
a
in
bunch of
twice,
cobwebs.
and they still couldn't find a brain.
Awesome.
But the main thing is that you guys are healthy again, and you took all the time you needed to recuperate, and you're back.
We're in a unique position because there's not many bands. So we had looked into this actually, because we had a 50th anniversary not so long ago, and actually this is our 53rd year, John.
52nd.
52nd.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
74 and it's 26, right? Yeah. So it's kind of what we call uncharted territory. You know, we're doing stuff in a way that we're not beholden to anybody. We just do whatever the hell we want, basically, and decide to do what we want to do. It's great, and there's still people who want to come and see us. Fantastic. And we still want to play. We want to rock. You know, and if you'll see the show tonight, we bring it harder than ever.
Yeah.
I think we're more kind of intense in that than we've ever been. So we're not really slowing down. It's just that it's like I said. It's like we have this kind of like open road in front of us, and we looked at different bands, right? You were looking it up, but how many bands are around?
No, there was
like
a top 10. The guy sent me a top 10 that had like Aerosmith and ZZ Top, and we were in that. It was
we were in the top 10.
mind blowing.
With the Rolling Stones and all these people, because there's most bands that either have so many problems and they end up, you know, having time off or split up, whatever, or they're down to like one member. You know, and that's like the tambourine player. Or something.
One original member,
We're still, the nucleus of this band has always been me and John, of course. And
of course,
we've had some great drummers over the years, you know, without, you know, a lot of people don't even know that the drummer, Sean Taylor, who plays with Satan, the band Satan, he was one of our original drummers. And Rob Hunter.
Rob Wacko Hunter.
And then, of course, Joe Hasselband, a great drummer. And then, real powerhouse, and then now Michael Heller, he's been in the band longer than Rob Hunter, I think, or at the same time, and we just have a wealth of songs, and and
And we keep
experience.
putting new music out.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That kind of makes the difference.
There's a lot of legacy bands who have like, we're going to play what hits from 20, 30, 40 years ago, whatever. And have no intention of doing anything new. And
We just drink a lot of coffee.
absolutely. It's a big factor of what we do is
It's
continually
the real
creating
lifeblood
new
of a
music.
band is to be able to do new and work on new music. Just being there like a jukebox and playing all your old stuff is great. But we want to present new ideas, and we still think we have something to say. So it's great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be digging it.
Yeah. Speaking of, being in a band myself, it's always important to release new stuff because as players, of course you have to love the music that you do, but after a while, for some bands, if you play the same songs over and over again, it can get kind of tiring for some. So keeping those
the one thing that we like about the old stuff is that we don't really own it anymore. I mean, because the people have taken that as their life experience sometimes. There's an old story we always tell is that these two guys, they got the All for One record when they were in high school, and they stole the brothers Camaro, and they drove from New Jersey to LA and blasted All for One all the time, and had the experience, and then they got arrested. And because they took their brother's car, they were underage, they didn't even have a license, just like a crazy story, but that's kind of the coming of age story, which is attached to All for One. So in some ways they own them songs, not us. So we present them and play them, of course, as our original material. But it's kind of like out there, and people expect to be able to hear some songs that they know and cherish, and they have favorites, of course. And it's odd to me when people say, my favorite record is The Pack Is Back, or they say maybe the first record is their favorite record, or maybe it's our new record. And we just try to do a bit of everything to try to please, some people. We kind of please everybody, obviously, but we
of course.
But the music's alive. I mean, there's just the three of us, which is the way we like it. And there's always those little creaky corners for improvisation.
Absolutely.
It doesn't stand still. And that's what keeps it fun for us. If it was like rote, you have to play this solo and this drum fill and this bass stop, but no, it's not like
now with Mike Heller on drums, we don't have any restraints on whatever we want to do, whether it's like blind fast or very complicated, or even just straight ahead, like powerful music, because he can do it all, and it's a breath of fresh air for us. It's just limitless what we can do. We can really expand on what we've always done. So.
And with Mike Heller on drums, does that mean any new stuff will feature blast beats?
Oh yeah, because he's like a force of nature. It's unbelievable. He doesn't even drink coffee. I drink more for him.
We have to drink more coffee just for him.
He just.
I mean, he's a modern drummer. So there's the blast beat thing, which to us was very foreign, but incorporated in a musical sense, there's a couple of songs on Metal City, Top of the Mountain. That's a bit of that.
We use the blast beat
Human Race has that too.
We use it like more of a palette of color, because it's not. And some bands it's just flat out to the extreme.
Exactly,
we see it more like it's actually like a soft
just
thing.
like accentuate or something.
Not as crazy as some other stuff that we could be doing. So, but like I said, he can do all the stuff, and he brings a new dimension to the band. So it's great. I mean, we really feel that whatever we come up with, he can do it. So it's great.
I love his work in Fear Factory as well. Before he joined you guys.
Yeah, he's quite a force of nature.
When he first started with us. Joe Hasselband had a heart attack. We had 2 days before 4 US warm-up dates and a European tour.
Wow.
And we were freaking. And we got a guy in Chicago to do one show, and this guy we knew got in touch with Mike. I got this guy, Mike Heller. I didn't know. Came in, talked for half an hour, went on, played an hour and a half.
Wow.
He charted it out and listened, and it was just like,
Yeah.
Wow. Why did you play that like that? Well, that's what's on the record. Go crazy. Really?
Mm.
And he was so restrained doing what he was doing in Fear Factory, just
Exactly. Yeah.
So he was able to improvise and go nuts. And he loved that aspect of, catch you and throw it back to me. And
exactly.
we had that ESP thing in the rhythm section immediately, which is...
you play in a band, so when something clicks, it clicks.
Exactly.
So you just feel like, oh man, this is great. We can do whatever we can do.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Exactly. So I wanted to also touch on it. One of the things I know a lot of people ask you guys about is your history with Metallica.
Right.
Like you took them out on their first tour on Kill 'Em All. You guys were on All for One.
Yeah, they were like little kids. I mean, they're not much younger than us, actually. They're only about, 2 years younger than us?
And then many years later, they took you out on stadiums in South America.
Yeah, we done some stuff with them. The last thing we did was a tribute to our manager,
Johnny and Marcia.
Johnny Zay and Marcia.
Yeah.
And what a great job they did on that. Their production of it, they had like so much, the old pictures and the old posters and all the kind of stuff that went on back in the day. I just couldn't believe what a great job they did on the audio visual part of it. And then of course they played all the earlier albums.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just the first two records,
and it was, it came out of me being cheeky, just saying to James, hey, you ever need an opening band, we're available.
Yeah.
They said, well, we're working on something in Florida. And it would have been in November. Are you available? I says, well, that'll be the tail end of our tour. Maybe, let me know.
Yeah.
Not expecting to hear about it.
The guys in Metallica are great guys. Yeah. They get so much shit. Because people, it's hard for me to think about it, but they're the biggest band there is right now.
Absolutely.
But I just think they're just some dudes that we knew from back then.
Yeah.
We just make fun of each other, so it's not like I had to catch myself and say I need to show a little bit of respect because this is a big band. But we have that legacy. We went back, right with them again to pick up where we left off, and it was very pivotal for both bands that tour. And we toured at a time when there was major tours in the States, but there wasn't really this independent kind of tour and playing clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people romanticize that tour as like the most wonderful thing. It was really like very difficult. We played some terrible places that looked like the Blues Brothers, like with a chicken wire, it was.
They couldn't afford a chicken wire. They just threw stuff at us.
Yeah, we played one place at Bald Knob, Arkansas, which is actually a real place. Mm-hmm. And it was an outdoor gig, and it was like the stage with totem poles on each side of the stage. Mm-hmm. And then there's a big truck showed up with catfish written on it. And then the people were drinking moonshine, and they were like, come on. They're like, from the audience, so I took a swig out of this bottle, and I was like, oh my God, that gasoline, And me and James, we said, let's see if we can get a bottle of that. We can drink it later on.
Yeah.
But it's like that struggle and like going out and doing something kind of unique like that.
Yeah.
Kind of bonded us together, I think, both bands. And,
absolutely. And
I say much more success to Metallica. They're a great band.
Absolutely. And to the Metallica guys, if you see this interview, take these guys out a little bit more often. Like you guys have history.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah. And so I know we both got a show to do, so we'll probably wrap things up here. You mentioned that you touring your 50th anniversary. You released the Can't Take Away the Fire EP last year, and you're already working on a new studio album, right?
Yeah.
What's the progress on that one?
We got an awful lot of songs written, and we're going to. Of course, we were supposed to review them during this tour, but it's basically just been work, sleep, travel.
Yep.
Once we get over this, we'll review what we've got, and not so much whittle down, but pick the ones we want to record as a group for this next record.
Yep.
And I'm excited. There's some great stuff in there.
Yeah, for sure. And we look forward to hearing it. Do you think we can expect it like maybe 2027 or something?
The plan was to try and get in the studio this summer. But, what we've been doing, the last record and the EP was we recorded with Mike because he had his own studio in LA. Well, he's moved on from that and he's in San Antonio, and he's actually in the process of building the studio right now. So we're kind of holding back a little bit to see if we can get that finished and get in there and be able to use that facility. Because we had such a great time last time. It's just really the three of us.
Yep.
And we just kind of, we don't have anybody butting in or having any say, so we just do our own thing now, which is, I think we learned from the different people we work with. Of course, Michael Wagner.
Yep.
Michael Wagner, what a great guy and a great producer. And he has, I don't know how you say it, but he has sales of over 100 million records. Is that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he's on like so many great records and
Yeah.
did such cutting edge stuff. So he was a big influence. We worked with Eddie Kramer. We worked with a bunch of different people through the years. And kind of that, we took what, we learned basically, so we know really what we need to do to bring out a good record. And we proved that the last two records have been very well received.
We just, pass the producer's hat around and
we just fight a lot in the studio.
push each other to get the best performances.
Yeah.
All that pushing each other.
We discovered something in the last three records was the real secret is to work hard.
Yep.
It's to write more songs, it's to spend more time, in the pre-production and in post and trying to get that feel right. And so really, you just got to put more effort into the entire thing. It's the old adage: if you don't put it in, it's not going to be there. It has to be, us putting that.
You've got to be
on
critical enough to say, is each part of the song worthy of being in the song?
Yep.
Is it too long drawn out? Should we cut it down? Should we put something else in there?
Yeah.
Is that melody strong enough?
Yep.
What about that lyric? What about that, and work on that.
Yep.
And still leave that 20 to 25% area open for whatever happens
a lot of bands
when you
get
go
pushed
for it.
into making a record. They're out of time. They've got other obligations with touring.
Yep.
And they're not able to put that effort in. But I think that the big key is to put the work in, and it'll pay off. It has for us. So I just I look forward to the recording process. We've always struggled in the studio, I would say, because we're a live band. So to recreate that or get that feel is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
But I think in the last three records we really have achieved that, and the EP, of course. But we're looking forward to the next record out. It's always about what's coming next for the future.
Yep. And we look forward to hearing it.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. I just want to thank you so much for your time.
Killer, man. Thank you.
It was an awesome
it's
chat.
a pleasure playing with you guys.
Looking forward to sharing the stage. It's a true honor, for us.
Let's kick some ass.
Let's kick some ass.
Burn the place down.
Yeah. So, people, if you haven't caught Raven on this current North American tour, catch them right now. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary. Pick up Can't Take Away the Fire and any of their studio records. Rock Until You Drop, Wiped Out, All For One, Stay Hard. You know them all.
Awesome.
So catch them on tour, and we'll see you next time.
You know it.
Yeah.